This is going to be my last video for the walkthrough setup of this link belt TCC 1100. I'm actually going to set up the RCL, or the rated capacity limiter, in this video for what I'm doing right now. So to begin, I already have my crane started, and you see where it says function lockout. I can adjust some things if I needed to, but to get that to go away, it came back, you see. And then to get it to go away, I'll press this down here. That enables all of my functions. And if for some reason, say for example, you needed to adjust your boom, you would go and hit that button right here that I hit. It'll take you to this. Then you go to crane configuration, and you can scroll down with the fourth button from the left to boom extension mode. I have it in standard right now. I'm needing reach. I'm not lifting anything super heavy. Then the AMAX one, it scopes out your base sections. It scopes out 2 base sections first, and then none of your tip. And then AMAX 2 scopes out 1 base section and then 2 of your tip sections. Like I said, I need reach right now, and I'm not lifting nothing super heavy, so I go into standard. My counterweights, I do have 3 counterweights on the back and then a belly weight. So I have to choose A, B, C plus a counterweight. Then if you can have different configurations, maybe you don't have no counterweights, you might be assembling or disassembling, or different jobs, you might not need all of your counterweights, but it is important to make sure that you have your proper counterweight selected, because it does impact your load charts a lot. I'm on tracks, so I have to go to this and make sure that I'm in the proper selection for that, because if not, it also messes with your load charts. And there's certain things you can do on tracks that you can't do on jacks, and there's things on jacks you can't do on tracks. And rigging mode is for traveling under low obstacles and needing a low boom angle, or whenever you're assembling and disassembling, you have to reach low boom angles that it's not made for normal operation, and then it'll cause all kinds of problems in the computer. On my auxiliary head, I have it on because I do have an auxiliary whip line, so I need that. I do not have any attachments erected, so it's asking for erected. If I hit that, I have nothing erected, but that's the options that I have. So I'll hit the check mark button for nothing erected. Then I go down to my winches. On my front winch, it asks what I'm using to lift. Like, I have a headache ball right now with one part of line. I could change it to go to my main lift point, but I don't want to do that. If, for example, you didn't have the auxiliary head, you could use this as your lift point. And then this button here changes your parts of line. It goes between 1 and 2. I'm already set up for the auxiliary head with 1 part of line, so I'm just going to go back. And then to show you the rear winch options, it shows it not being on the auxiliary head. It shows you off the main boom. This button here again changes your parts of line. I can go to a max of 14, but I am 4 parted right now, so I'll put that. And that's all I need for my main block. That's the winch selections. I'll scroll down, and that's all of those choices I have. So now I go back, and the operator alarms, this is where you can set your definitions. If you only can go a certain boom length, up or down to certain boom angles, a certain radius, maybe there's obstacles in your work area. And all these here, once you enable a certain boom angle, you have your options here. I'm not really going to mess with it because I do not need that right now. Maybe you can only boom down to 45 degrees for some reason. This is where you'd set it. Your minimum angle is your boom down, and your max angle is your boom up, for those of y'all that might get confused with that. So, continuing the radius, maybe you can only go a certain radius away from you. And again, this is where to set all those. This crane is equipped with ground bearing pressure sensors. So if you go over a certain ground pressure, it would let you know, and you can set up your alarms, and you can calculate it here of what you want, but I'm not going to mess with that because I don't need to. So going back a page, you have diagnostics and monitoring, and I went back too far, or I hit the wrong button, I'm sorry. Go to diagnostics and monitoring, you can hit that. That shows active system faults, a fault log, and sensor data is all this stuff. You can use it to check and make sure that things are working as they should. So like my function lockout, it shows it closed. So right now if I hit cable up or down, it would work. Then when I turn that off, it says open. None of my stuff functions will work. So go back to this screen. The function times, it'll show you over the history of the crane how many hours it has doing each function. It's cool. I don't know why it's useful, but it's a neat little bell and whistle to have, I guess. So this is the ground bearing pressure, and I can see how much ground bearing pressure I'm putting down right now. So you see it there. It shows your load, your max load, what radius I'm at, my boom angle, boom length. I do not have any list or trim right now, and it shows like what setup I have as far as tracks, what counterweight I have selected, the boom mode, no attachment, surface type is soft. I put that just as like a limiting factor. The ground I'm on is not super soft, but I don't want to put it as hard ground and have it set up incorrectly. My shoe type, which is the pads on the tracks, is a 36-inch grouser, and the pressure limit is set to 1,000 in the computer. So that's all the settings and things, and then I can press this button here to bring me to my working screen. And again, I have it function locked out. I'm not doing anything right now, but that's how I set it up for my day of work.